The New Year Won't Be New for Me by AnAverageDevin. 2018 has been the worst year of my life. I found out that my girlfriend of 2 years has been cheating on me. I was fired from my job. My dog was kidnapped. My best friend died in a car crash. Worst of all, however, is that this will be the 8th time that I've lived through 2018. I'll start from the first time. It was just before midnight on New Year's Eve. I was alone, of course. I'm not a religious person, but after the horrible year that I had experienced, I was ready to try anything. I prayed to any God that would listen. I wished that I would never have to experience another year like 2018. Either the God that listened to me is a sadist or a demon heard my plea instead. Instead of granting my wish, they are making me live through the worst year of my life over and over again. The first time I experienced the time loop, I thought it was truly a gift and not a curse. I was wrong. I woke up in my bed like any other morning. Nothing seemed different. That was until I made my way to my kitchen. I noticed that the layout of my furniture in the living room was different than it had been the night before. Then my phone began to ring. It was my girlfriend, or rather my ex-girlfriend. I had broken up with her after finding out that she was sleeping around with her boss. But then, why had her name come up as lover with a heart emoji next to it? I knew I had changed that a long time ago. I ignored the call. I soon received a text message that said, "Hey baby, call me when you're awake. I wanted to tell you that I'll be home late tonight. We have to catch up on all the time off during the holidays. I love you." Was she toying with me? We'd been broken up for over 6 months now. I was about to type back an angry response when I noticed that the date in the background of my phone, it was January 1st, 2018. Was this some sort of glitch? Had my phone possibly reverted to an earlier date? There was only one way to test it. I called my dead friend Ricky. Ricky had died in a drunk driving accident. He wasn't the one drinking, but it didn't matter. He had gone out by himself one night for a late taco trip, but he would never come home. The phone rang a few times before someone picked it up on the other side. "Bro, you know how much I drank last night? Why are you calling me this early?" The voice on the other end said. "Ricky?" I questioned him. "No, it's Santa Claus. Of course it's me. You're the only one who called me," he responded. I almost dropped my phone in shock. It was unmistakably his voice and attitude. He was alive again. Was I really in 2018 again? I quickly apologized to him for calling so early and I hung up the phone. I ran back to my room to see my other best friend laying at the foot of my bed. I had groggily walked past him when I woke up. It was my golden retriever, Apollo. He had been stolen from me the previous year. Someone had broken into my house while I was at work. They took everything of value, including my dog. I basically jumped on him with excitement. He was confused at first, but after a few seconds he began to play. This was like a dream come true. I was given the opportunity to fix the worst year of my life. Except, I wasn't. I marked down the date that each terrible event occurred, determined to reverse fate. First would be fixing my relationship. I became the best boyfriend imaginable. Even Hallmark movies had nothing on me. I began to take my girlfriend on date after date to anywhere she wanted. I surprised her with flowers every chance I got. I loved her with everything I had, but it wasn't enough. No matter how many times I lived through 2018, she always cheats. No matter how hard I try, it never matters. Well, I guess you can't change a person after all. Perhaps this was a sign that I was better off without her anyway. So I moved on to focusing on preventing Apollo from being kidnapped. I upgraded the security in my home. I added cameras, sensors, anything to stop what I knew would happen. I even stayed home on the day that he went missing to make certain that he would stay with me. But once again, it didn't matter. Despite my efforts, my dog gets kidnapped every 2018. If I stay home with him the original day that he went missing, then he disappears the next. I tried taking him with me almost everywhere I went, but the moment that I leave him for 5 minutes, he's gone. Okay, but I could still save Ricky though, right? Even if I lost everything else, if I could just save Ricky, I could still be a little happy. We had grown up together, and his death stacked upon the rest of my year had driven me to the brink of suicide. I couldn't follow through with it, but it was the closest that I had ever come to death myself. The night Ricky died, he had been alone, so I went to his house that night instead. I brought tacos with me, so that he would have no need to go out for a trip. Ricky lived for about a week. He was once again hit by a drunk driver. Once again, nothing I do ever matters. Every year I try to save Ricky, and every year he dies. The only way I could see saving him is if I tied him up and locked him in my basement, but I don't think that I could do that. I imagine that after this New Year's Eve, I will once again wake up in 2018. I'm writing this in hopes that it somehow makes it into 2019. And maybe someone out there can help me. I just want 2018 to be over.